So, hello, this is your instructor Kumaran here, and we are going to be looking at some of the data science use cases. Let us see how the world is benefiting from data science. The use of data science is growing exponentially every day. It has been growing exponentially for the past few years, and it is spreading itself across multiple domains in like business, science, finance, and in personal life also. And recent advances in computing power in terms of hardware, in terms of software, a lot of open source software is coming into the world, like the whole Hadoop ecosystem and predictive algorithms. The combination of all of these have made it very cost effective for you to apply data science in commercial use these days. Let's see some of the examples of using data science. The first, let us start with finance. Where finance is all about making money and saving money. So fraud detection, credit card fraud detection is a very important application where data science is being used. So what happens in credit card fraud is that credit card frauds exhibit patterns, certain patterns in which they happen. Whenever you look at transactions that are related to credit card fraud, they exhibit some pattern, some kind of a relationship between the various entities and their attributes. And it is these patterns that are basically captured in the historical data, and they are used to build models of fraudulent transactions. So the historical data has good transactions and fraud transactions, and they are then used to build models as to how a fraudulent transaction is going to look like. So whenever a new transaction occurs, the transaction is immediately evaluated using computers, using the model to come up with what you call as a fraud score. A fraud score basically tells you whether a particular transaction is a fraudulent transaction or not. It is a score maybe from 1 to 100, and whenever that score crosses a specific threshold, it's immediately flagged as a possible fraudulent transaction. It is then some action is taken, like some calls are being made to the credit card owner as to asking him whether he's doing all these transactions. Sometimes the credit card is immediately blocked from further transactions until they make the verification. So there are some actions taken like this. So fraud detection is a very important application for data science in the financial world. The second application you would see is about retailing. So you will see that whenever you go to a website and do your shopping and put some items in your shopping cart, immediately you see some recommendations coming up. Like in the case of Amazon, you would immediately see a recommendation like items frequently bought together. How do they make these recommendations? It's again, items exhibit patterns on how they are bought together, like cell phones and accessories, books. Some items that are frequently bought together, they exhibit those affinity patterns. So based on that, they build what are called affinity scores between the items. So between any pair of items, there is an affinity score assigned. The higher the affinity score, the more frequently these items have been bought together. So what happens next? Whenever one of those items is bought by a new shopper, immediately items with high affinity scores to that original item, are immediately recommended. So you use the affinity scores to recommend more items to the shopper, with the idea that if the past shoppers have bought them together, possibly that's how the next shopper is also going to do, and that way you to do more cross-selling and upselling. Contact centers. So we have contact centers which have been traditionally used for customer service. The use of contact centers have grown today to do more sales and a lot of more high-end sales and support. And they have also started using data science to improve their performance. And how do they do that is this. They have started scoring callers as well as agents. So past interactions are used to score callers based on their value in terms of how much the business value is, what type of caller they are, how much business they have already done with the company. They are using that to score the callers. They are also using doing scores for agents based on their ability to sell. High selling agents versus low selling agents, or agents who have the ability to handle a specific type of problem, like agents who can handle problems in a specific product or a specific type of, let's say, a network issue versus a phone issue, things like that. So what they then do is they try to match the right callers with the right agents based on this scores. And the idea is once you match the right callers with the right agents, it is going to optimize your business outcomes. And then call recordings. So you see that whenever you are talking to a contact center, they are always going to say your call may be recorded for quality purposes. And what they do with these call recordings is they're going to apply machine learning algorithms on these recordings to understand the quality of the call and outcome and use them for future enhancements. And finally, we look at healthcare. Now, predicting disease outbreak. This has been a fantastic thing that has happened of late. Is you can predict disease outbreaks by looking at what people are searching in Google and what they are tweeting in Twitter. So data set is collected from public domains like Google searches and Twitter feeds and stuff like that. And this data is always linked with the location information. So whenever you are Googling something or whenever you're tweeting something, the location from where you're doing that is always collected. And then this information is then collected, like what you're tweeting about or what is that you're Googling about, along with your location, to come up with patterns. So are people doing these kind of queries on a specific disease from a specific locality? They're trying to monitor that, and the moment you start seeing some patterns of to people are tweeting more about a specific disease in a specific location, there is a possibility that there is an outbreak that is happening there. This kind of information is now being used to start predicting disease outbreaks. What is the good thing about predicting about disease outbreaks is that the government can react in a more proactive manner. You see that a disease is starting to outbreak in a specific locality, the government can immediately start marshalling its resources to start sending some preventive care, more medicines, more doctors, stuff like that. They can organize like a couple of days in advance and prevent more outbreaks that is happening in the same area. So data science is helping to prevent or at least manage these disease outbreaks. So these are some of the interesting applications in data science. This is like a very few popular applications. There is in fact a lot that is happening there, and I hope that you would be able to do some more reading and understand all of them in the near future. Thank you.